Hello there, welcome to your latest Scottish weather forecast from the Met Office. Well, as we go through the next few days, the weather looks like it's going to turn very unsettled, especially as we move towards the Hogmanay period. There, as we see out Saturday, there are some clearer skies around, especially across the south, but as we move into the early hours of Sunday morning, we see this next area of rain moving across the north. Some of this will turn quite heavy, especially over the hills. But to the south, as I mentioned, maybe a fairly dry night here. But for all of us, it's going to be a fairly mild night. Temperatures not much lower than around 3 to 5 degrees in any sheltered spots. So we do start Sunday morning off on a fairly wet note for most of us, but south of the central belt, generally dry here, maybe some glimmers of sunshine and very little changes really as we go through the course of the day. The best of any dry and bright weather will be always to the south of Glasgow and Edinburgh. The main area of rain really will be across the more western parts of the country, and by the end of the afternoon we could just start to see some cold air just tucking in to the north of this rain band, so turning increasingly to snow across the higher ground. But for most of us, still in the milder air, so could see highs reaching 10 to 11 degrees, especially if we do see any brightness across the south. Into the evening, that area of rain continues to pile in, with the cold air really starting to have an influence. We could see some fairly widespread snow across the higher ground here. But to the south, again, fairly dry for the time being. But by the time we get to Monday, it's going to be a fairly wet day for most of the country. Warnings are in force for rain during the course of Monday. And in fact, actually, the warnings continue into New Year's Eve too. Still the risk of some snow, especially across the high ground, and really it's going to set us up for a fairly unsettled start to 2025. Risk of some potentially very windy weather developing from time to time. And after potentially some milder air just hanging on across the south, it will turn cold for all of us as we move into the new year itself. But you can find out the latest warnings always on our website, where you can also check out your latest forecast. But from me for now, take care, and I'll see you again soon.